I call to order this regular meeting of the Commission on Aging on March 13th, 2025. Juanita, will you call the roll?
Yeah. Carol?
Here.
Nicole?
Here.
Linda?
Here.
Marion?
Here.
Amy?
Here.
Vicky?
Here.
Dana is excused absent. Bree?
Here.
And Laura?
Here. We have a new commissioner. Welcome, Nicole.
Thank you.
And you have something to tell us about yourself?
Yes, thank you so much for the time tonight. So good evening, everyone. My name is Nicole Crenshaw. I'm a triplet mother and an 8-year resident of our beautiful city, Pleasant Hill. And I'm honored and excited to be joining Pleasant Hill Commission on Aging as a new commissioner. I come from a background 25 years in hospital laboratory, focused mostly on clinical diagnostic testing for diabetes and infectious diseases. My clinical experiences have fueled my passion for advocating for the older adults, especially in our community. And whether through direct service, volunteer work, or personal experiences, I've had the privilege of witnessing firsthand the challenges and joys of aging. And I believe that every senior deserves to live with dignity, respect, and support. I'm incredibly thankful for the opportunity to serve on the commission. The work done here is crucial in ensuring that our community seniors have access to the resources, services, and advocacy they deserve. I saw that firsthand. I am committed to working alongside my fellow commissioners and in the community to create a positive impact, improve quality of life, and ensure a vibrant, inclusive future for older adults in Pleasant Hill. Thank you for welcoming me into this role. I look forward to contributing and learning from all of you as we work towards a brighter future for our aging population.
Thanks.
Well, I would
Very
love
good.
a
17.
copy of that.
Yes,
That could be the
Impressive.
next one.
And challenges and joys. and
Wow.
That's right.
That's a fabulous one.
So happy to be here. Thank you so much.
We're delighted to have you. That's quite respectful.
Yes.
Do we have any members of the public present?
I just want to let you know that Holly Freitas is joining us via Zoom. She'll just be available to answer questions.
Okay. So at this time, the public is welcome to provide comments to the commission, but if there's no one that wants to do that,
I did just want to share that there was a written communication that I forwarded to you from Eric Sondenow.
Okay.
With some suggestions for the commission to consider the activities in the future.
Okay. Do we need to read that now or, okay. Seeing no members of the public present that are interested in speaking, we will move on. And Juanita has already told us of the written correspondence received. So next is the presentation of the Home Match Program by Front Porch Services. Lorna will introduce our speaker, Logan Robertson.
Thank you. Yeah, when we did our presentation to the city council on,
No place to call home.
thank you, no place to call home. Thank you.
Yeah.
The city council members were very interested in a program that we touched on, that Logan runs. She's also appointed by the Board of Supervisors for Contra Costa County and sits with me on the Advisory Council on Aging. And with that, I've asked Logan to join us today, present to us. The goal of the presentation is to hopefully embrace it and get on the calendar for city council in the future for this same presentation.
Yeah.
So Logan, if you could just take it from here.
I will take it from there. Thank you, Lorna. So a little bit about me. My name is Logan. I am on the ACOA with Lorna and happy to be the co-chair of the membership committee of the ACOA. I have a history in doing social work at a county level in about 3 different counties for over a decade, as well as mental health services, and then got into housing for older adults, and am just loving my time here. So I am going to go through, did you have the slides perhaps? Okay,
Can
I can do it without or.
Can I ask
with.
a question? I think
Yeah.
we missed an agenda item.
What did we miss?
We didn't.
We didn't approve the last meeting
Or it
minutes.
looks like it's after.
Oh, is that after our meeting?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, public comment. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I
Do what
just-
you gotta
I'm used
I
to
just
our
do what-
order.
I just
Yeah.
do what Juanita tells me.
I'm sorry.
No
okay.
worries. So I always like to ask who has heard of Home Match?
Only recently.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that's
only
more
said
than
here.
normal. Yeah. So, and how many have heard of Front Porch?
I just read it in the senior.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you
Yeah,
go to
me
the
too.
next slide here, so Front Porch is a nonprofit that's been around for 50 plus years. They specialize in housing for older adults. So they have 19 market rate communities as well as 32 affordable housing communities throughout the state of California and in 2 other states as well. Front Porch has a community services division, and that is where Home Match lies. Amongst our community service programs, we address a few different things, including nutrition through our Market Day program, which brings low-cost fruits and vegetables to these communities and other senior housing communities throughout the state. Social connection through our Well Connected Espanol, which is our virtual senior center program that has programming 365 days, about 100 different programs a week. So that's a free nationwide program connecting older adults virtually. Creative engagement through Ruth's Table and Creative Spark, so aging creatively. And then Home Match is our home share program. Next slide there. So a lot of people think home share, whoo, yikes, right? I don't want to share my home. That's what we get the majority of the time. So why would someone share their home? One thing that comes to mind very quickly here, especially in the Bay Area, is economic support. So a lot of older adults are on a fixed income, need to supplement their income, are still paying a mortgage, maybe lost a spouse and now have decreased their income. And the other one is social support. So those are the 2 large reasons that we see, 2 main reasons, that we see people coming to our program. They want a companion. They want someone in their home just to know they're there, or they really need to supplement that income. And based on why they're coming to the program, that's where their rent's gonna lie. So homeowners set their rent for our program. So some common misconceptions about that. 211 loves to tell people that we are a low income program. We're not. I wish we were, but we are market rate. Homeowners do set their rents, and we help them kind of gauge what we're seeing in the area, but most of the time you're looking at about 900 and up. I have over the last 2 years had some $500 rooms pop up. You can imagine how quickly those go. So it is something that does come up. And we have some other ways to reduce rent that we'll get into here shortly as well. You can go to the next slide. So like I said, there's a few reasons that people want to home share. Post-pandemic, we're seeing people who have been isolated and, are wanting to still isolate because there's still a question of, will it come back? Is it still around? Are people vaccinated? That's a huge thing that we've seen when doing applications with older adults, particularly, is can I ask if people are vaccinated? Can I, ask these kind of questions? And that is something that we can't ask, of course, but we encourage them to have conversations around their beliefs and their, desires for what's going on in their home with these individuals. So Home Match serves both home providers, which are older adults or anyone 18 and above, but majority is going to be older adults. My youngest home provider right now is in his 30s. My oldest is in his 90s. The majority are older adults who have a spare room in their home, looking to supplement their income or gain companionship, and who reach out to us and say, hey, I just went through a horror story on Craigslist. I need help this time around. They are referred through a doctor, a social worker. They see me at a tabling event or at a presentation such as this. And we go out and do a home visit. You can go to the next slide. So we will do a home visit. During this home visit, we look at the application with the homeowner. It really dives deep into what their preferences are. Do you want someone that smokes? What if they smoke outside? Marijuana, cigarettes? Do you have pets? Can they have pets? Anything and everything that could be a lifestyle or communication preference, that's really what we look at. We also do a home checklist. So is it a room? Are there shared spaces? So, you know, times are tough in terms of renting. People are trying to supplement their income any way they can. So if it's, I'm going to sleep in the living room, they can have the bedroom, that then means there's no shared living space. So we can't do that. So there has to be another bedroom. So we do a checklist that looks at, is the room rent ready? Is there any interesting odors or, you know, mold, paint chips, things like that in the home. So we really try to make sure that we are getting these homes ready, and we can provide support with home readiness. So if they need some stuff moved to storage, I've been known to pick up a mattress or two here and there and move it out to the garage, get things ready for them, hire a TaskRabbit if needed. But we really try to help any way we can to help these older adults get their rooms ready to go. And that includes just encouragement and support, and, you know, emotionally being ready to rent that room, because that's a big step for a lot of people, is inviting someone into their home. From a home visit, I will do a background check on the homeowner. These background checks look at criminal history, liens, judgments, evictions, and bankruptcies. Once their home visit clears, their background check clears, they become active in my system, and I start to market their room on online housing boards, flyering in their area, libraries. I often take flyers with pictures to wherever I'm going, a tabling event, things like that. So I market the room. I take all of the inquiries for the room. I interview everyone who submits an application for any room. And then I introduce them to people I think would be a good fit for them. If they decide that this person is a good fit, I'd like to move forward, then we'll do a living together agreement. This is a 28-page document. Yeah, it's not as bad as it sounds.
I've actually encouraged my children to do that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people hear that and they're kind of like, oh my gosh. And then we get through it and they're like, that was like, I feel like so much of my mind has been put to ease, because the first half of that document is really agreements on shared space. How is cleaning done? Are we sharing ketchup? Can I leave my window open when I'm not? It's a thing. It is a thing. You know, is there a special coffee pot that they should not touch?
Yeah.
There are special coffee pots. You know, what areas are off limits? Who has keys? What's the temperature typically set at is a big one. Am I going to be cold in this house? Am I going to be too warm? So we really go through word for word, question by question, this document that looks at those shared. It depends how chatty the people are. I've gotten through it in an hour, and I've gotten through it in 3 hours. It really depends. I email it out to everyone first, and I'm like, take a look at this, think about what your answers might be. Don't fill it out. We'll do it together. But it really depends on, you know, if they've already had these conversations when meeting each other, it goes a lot faster. And then the second half of that is your very typical California terms and conditions lease agreement. Most, I'd say 99% of our individuals go month to month. Gives you that flexibility to give a 30-day notice should you just decide home sharing isn't for me, or I suddenly need to move, tenant or homeowner. And then the remaining few pages on that is California disclosures, Megan's Law, asbestos, bed bugs, all that fun, you know, bedtime reading. So we give all of that to them as well. And then Home Match provides ongoing support. So I will call every match every 3 months, check in on how things are doing, go out if there's any communication issues, or, you know, so-and-so is doing something weird, can you come out and we can talk about it? So we provide ongoing support for the duration of the match. I have some matches that will call me once a week, give me a nice little update of their week. I will often refer them to our social connection programs and say, I have a friendly visitor call program. Would you like to be a part? And some call only whenever it's that 3 month. On the flip side of that, the tenants, the people looking, same kind of referral sources. So social workers, a lot of different community partners, Hope Solutions, St. Vincent de Paul, and just seeing me out in the community. One of my biggest referral sources here in Pleasant Hill specifically is the senior center here. So I am at the Pleasant Hill Senior Center, once a week on Wednesdays. And I started that about 1.5 years ago, and it has just been amazing. So that is my biggest referral source for Pleasant Hill. And on their applications, they mark what cities they want to be in. Everyone marks Pleasant Hill. It's just conveniently located. It's not Concord, but it's not Walnut Creek. And, you know, it's kind of like in the middle. Yeah, exactly. So that is just some outreach that I do here in Pleasant Hill, is there at the senior center. So tenants, home seekers will submit an application. They might see a room on Facebook Marketplace that I've posted and, inquire. I interview everyone who sends in an application. That application looks at their preferences as well. Can you live with a smoker? Are you a smoker? All of these things. I interview them. They submit income verification. So that is the kicker to Home Match, and what kind of is the most difficult part of our program is that income verification. We do not allow anyone to pay more than 50% of their income towards their rent, gross income. So for an older adult on a fixed income of $1,200 a month, they're only eligible for a room that costs $600. They might put on their application, I can pay $1,000.
Yeah.
But because we are in the business of sustainable housing and not setting people up for failure, we cap it at 50% of their income, which also makes housing chronically homeless individuals that might not have a steady income source very difficult. So in our San Francisco program, we are funded as kind of an eviction prevention, kind of that stopgap before homelessness. So home seekers, they do their interview, they verify income. If I feel I have a room for them, I will run their background check. So everyone gets a background check. If anything comes back on either background check, it is disclosed to the other person. And then if they meet and they decide this is great, we'll do that living together agreement. If they decide, not the person for me, we'll keep looking. So it's really up to them. Home Match does not make placements. We make introductions. And then we provide that ongoing support for that duration of the match. Just some numbers here in Pleasant Hill. Within our last fiscal year, which is coming to an end April 1st, I received 14 homeowner inquiries for our program, and currently have 5 ongoing matches in the city. So it's a great place where people want to be. And we recently opened to West County, and that has been, a big source of our availability right now as well, because West County, we've seen a very strong need and want for our programming over there. So that has been great. Some tidbits about Home Match Contra Costa is that we only serve Central and West County right now. I am the sole employee of the program, so I don't have the capacity to go out east. So nothing further east than Concord. So no Bay Point, no Pittsburgh, anything out that way. Hoping one day we can reopen over there.
Do you charge a fee?
We don't. We are a completely free service. Home Match Contra Costa is fully funded through Front Porch. Other counties are funded through the cities and municipalities that they serve. Mill Valley gives a substantial amount of money to our Marin office. So we do serve Marin, San Francisco, and Alameda. Alameda has like the Cal Home Grant. The mayor's office of housing and homelessness in San Francisco has a large grant. Contra Costa has been unfunded, which is why I am the sole employee. We did, however, get some funding through Measure X for capacity building, but that can't support a staff. So it's capacity in the form of technology and marketing to vamp up the rooms. So we did recently get that funding and we'll be going
How
into
much do they
contract,
give you?
120,000.
That's just for this year.
I
Okay,
believe.
are you gonna have to reapply for it?
I don't know. We haven't gone into contract deliberations. Our executive director does all of that. But I do know that it is strictly for technology. And one of the
Yeah.
Measure X things was it can't support a staff position.
Right.
You keep busy.
How is Front Porch funded?
So our community service programs get money from Front Porch from those retirement communities. So that is how all of those communities support our community service programs. Yeah.
Through referral fees or something?
So I believe that, like, let's say you pay for your housing in one of our communities, that payment goes back into the community services programs.
Logan, is there a community in the area that we might identify that we would?
So there's St. Paul's Towers in Oakland, San Francisco Towers in San Francisco.
Are we still affiliated with this church?
We are not.
We used to.
So Front Porch and Covia came together about 2.5 years ago. So we were previously Covia, previously Episcopal Senior Services. So we've kind of jumped around a bit. But Front Porch was basically doing what Covia was doing in the north, Front Porch was doing in the south. And so they came together.
Excuse me, what's Covia?
Covia was the parent company of Home Match
Oh.
at one point. And I believe they owned like the communities, the retirement communities around here. But they,
So if Rossmore is a retirement community, may not be one of the ones you're talking about, but we can think
No,
Rossmore is a retirement community.
sure, yeah, and these are, it depends on, like St. Paul's Towers are like an apartment community, so there's different, they're working on revamping Los Gatos Meadows, and Home Match will be going to Los Gatos, I believe, so we will be expanding there.
Is there a retirement community like that in Pleasant Hill?
There is no retirement community here.
One that's being built over by the city.
Yeah, they're not a Front Porch. I believe that the one over by DVC is actually with,
Front Porch is a company that has.
yeah, Front Porch is a very large nonprofit. Their main office is in Glendale. My office is here in Walnut Creek. And then they have their communities throughout the state. Yeah, yeah. So that's some logistics on Home Match. Contra Costa is the service area. And then Home Match as a whole was just awarded the Innovation and Social Impact Award through the Society on Aging, American Society on Aging. And then we've also been working with Leading Age and have AB 474, which is a home sharing bill that has been going through. So we are out there working on some legislation, working on things like that. So it's a very exciting time for Home Match. Any questions? Yeah.
Kitchen, feed, food, cooking, safety, all of that.
Yeah. So as a home sharing program, we would like to see them have kitchen privileges. In your application as a homeowner, it would ask, how often do you use your kitchen? Will they have full kitchen access? And then in our living together agreement, it does say, how are kitchen times shared? Do we want to set a schedule? Like, do you have your routine that they need to then get acclimated to? Because what's most important is them acclimating to your home, you not having to turn your world upside down, for this person. So we do expect that they have some kitchen privileges. There are some homes where, and there are some people looking for rooms that are like, I don't ever cook. So it's a little bit of both, but I would say what I tell people in terms of safety, fires, things like that is check with your insurance.
Yeah.
Let them know, hey, I'm going to be renting out a room, what's covered, what's not. Yeah.
Do the
Yeah.
new landlord laws?
And it, yeah.
Yeah, do they apply?
The Concord ones?
Well, there's two state ones too.
Mm.
I heard this yesterday. I don't have rental properties, but some
Yeah.
of my friends do, and they said, I don't want to rent in California anymore. I don't want to
Yeah.
rent.
So a lot of the times, because it's a home share and we require that the homeowner or master tenant, so if it's an apartment and it's a 2-bedroom apartment, as long as the master tenant has the ability to rent the second room, we can help them out. But because it's a home share, oftentimes those single family home laws, things like that don't apply
Yeah.
because the homeowner is living in the home.
Yeah, okay.
And our director of strategy, Barnesmore, would filter down those things to us should they be applicable.
Okay.
Yeah. So we try to keep all of that kind of in our line of sight just in case. Yeah. And then every city has, Richmond has their own, laws, and so everywhere's a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else do people usually ask? We do get ADUs from time to time.
Yep.
Is that what you were gonna ask?
No, I was gonna ask about the disabled, if you have
Mm.
disabled people wanting to come in to on
Yep.
the shared program.
Yeah, so we do get individuals who, one of our questions is, do you need it to be wheelchair accessible? Are you okay with stairs?
Yeah.
So all of that is talked about. And then if I have a home that is like a single story, I've introduced wheelchair bound individuals to those homes. A lot of times they say, I've rented rooms before, I have my own ramp. If they're okay with that, like, I'm good. And it's all about making those introductions. So we don't not make introductions based on, a disability. We try to accommodate everyone, but what our program agreement does say is that we can't guarantee a match.
Yeah.
Because we really pride ourselves on that matchmaking process. We can't guarantee a match. We can't guarantee a timeline. So as a homeowner, if you're super, super picky about what you want and who you want, and your price is a little higher, I've got a lot of rooms, it could take longer. And we can never guarantee a match or a timeline. So that is something to keep in mind. Right now, I have 13 rooms available, which is more than Marin and San Francisco combined.
Wow.
Yeah, right.
Where are
A lot of them are in Richmond, El Cerrito, San Pablo. I have one in Pleasant Hill currently open. I have one in Clayton, Concord, Walnut Creek. So they're pretty, there's probably at least one in each city at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Great service.
yeah, and it's a really good time. I would say Home Match Contra Costa has hovered around 5 to 6 rooms, which has been really nice. And opening up to West County, doing more outreach, just really getting the word out there about our service has really, really been helpful.
How many people do you have?
Ooh, girl. Yeah, so we track inquiries I track inquiries on a weekly basis based on where those rooms are posted. So if at any time a homeowner says, have you even gotten any inquiries for my room? I can tell them on Facebook, I received this many, I received this many. Phone calls, I received this many. And then monthly. So I believe last month, my total inquiry number for both homeowners and home seekers was 287.
Wow.
So I have 19 pending inquiries for homeowners right now.
Wow.
Now, a lot of those could just result in information. I just want information about your program. I'm not ready yet. I'm gonna get my room ready. So I'm just calling for information. So a lot of those can just be that and not go anywhere else. I do have 3 home visits next week to see new rooms. And then I didn't have any this week. So, it just, yeah. Yeah.
What about anything about rental escalations, like the cost of a room? How often?
Like how much are they raising
Yeah.
rent?
Yeah.
I've never had a room raise a rent price in this county. My longest match, we started in Contra Costa County in 2017. My longest match is about 4 years old at this point. And then I have some in between there. I've never had someone raise rent.
But they're allowed to.
They can, yeah.
Not in the rental agreement.
In a California lease, it's in there that, if you want to raise rent, you need to give X amount of notice, and it would be a conversation. What I would say is we have such good rapport with all the people that we work with that if they were, you know, I did have an older woman say, I think I just need $100 more, you know? And then we looked at, oh, well, why am I spending on all this, you know? And so
Oh.
just sitting down and talking and seeing like, okay, well, where are you actually? And if that's a conversation that needs to be had, like, should I actually charge utilities? Some include utilities in the rent, some add an extra fee, some want to split the bills as they arrive. So adjusting for those, if utilities spike, we go out and say, let's look at historical costs and what is actually happening now. Has there been a big increase since this person moved in? In terms of matches, more than one person can be very difficult to place. Most people want single occupancy. Dogs, cats, hard, very hard. I do have like 2 rooms right now that'll take dogs. So yay. That's very hard to come by.
I seem to remember that sometimes you place people that, like the person that is renting the room actually wants assistance from that person and,
So-
That was
how
my
that works.
question. I was,
Yes.
I'm a social worker, that's how it was shown to us.
Yeah, so we have a program called Task Exchange. A task exchange is where the homeowner can reduce their rent in exchange for things around the home tasks. We do not in any way allow anyone to do any caregiving, daily living skills, medication disbursement. If you fall, I'm gonna help you up. I'm a nice person, but I'm not there to lift you from your bed to the bathroom, to the
Yeah.
chair, to the,
Not caregivers, but
right.
home tasks.
Yeah, so I currently have 2 task exchange rooms. One is offering a reduced rent to do 2 hours of house cleaning a week. We only allow up to 10 hours a week. Otherwise it becomes an employee-employer relationship. And I have one in Walnut Creek that would like someone to water their plant and take the garbage to the curb. Plant.
Mhm.
One plant.
Singular.
And that, actually, I'm going to boot that room because it is a $900 room downtown Walnut Creek. And the gentleman would love to help out a single mom and child, which is unheard of.
Wow.
There's already 2 twin beds in the room. So it's a really sweet deal. And we do get families that apply. And oftentimes it's shoot, they only want one person, or, you know, maybe they have a dog. And like I said, I have 2 rooms right now that'll take dogs, which is pretty uncommon. Cats are particularly difficult.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But yeah, so we do have a task exchange program. It is very rare to see. The fact that I have 2 right now, this plus one other in the last 2.5 years. So since the pandemic, we've seen a huge kind of decline in the want of a task exchange. And I don't know how that's correlated, but somehow task exchange has gone down quite a bit. I can't speak to other counties. I think they have them pop up here and there, but it's not a huge thing. And depending on the number of hours and, you know, severity, if you will, is how much it would be reduced.
Question about home safety. Do you, when you go in to meet the homeowner,
Mm-hmm.
do you do a safety check in the home?
Yeah, so we do a home visit checklist. It looks at, is there a smoke detector, carbon monoxide detector in the room? It has to be in the room. Is there any chipping paint? Or all the window screens, you know, hold? Do the windows in the room open? Are there 2 ways to get out of the
Yeah,
room?
right.
Yeah, so we do all
2
of those.
exits.
Yep.
How about safety in the bathroom?
So we check for mold, make sure that there's a window or an air source in the bathroom. But in terms of like grab bars and
Yes.
things, because we are a 18 and older program, we aren't checking for those types of things. So we do serve, and that's a huge misconception, as well as that we are a seniors only program. We did start out as a seniors only program, helping older adults kind of age in place, but we open it up to 18 and above. The majority of our individuals are seniors. What I typically see is a woman in her 60s is my average home provider. But I think I mentioned earlier, my oldest is like 95.
Yeah.
So My youngest is like 30, so it really varies. But we do serve 18 and above, so we don't really check for those things. Yeah. But if there's someone that would need something like that installed in the house, that would be, I would encourage them to talk about that during the introduction. You know, we can have those conversations. That's gonna be a safety issue. We need to get it, you know, looked at before you ever even move in.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you, Logan.
Yeah, thank you. I went through the slides without you.
Yeah, no,
Sorry.
no.
Got ahead of myself.
Yeah, we did, we
That's
have
good.
times.
Yeah, no,
I
I was like,
really
oh my gosh, I just keep
Yeah,
going.
no, I.
Yeah.
It's so
Thank you.
valuable.
Yeah, I've got brochures here for
Oh,
everyone,
good.
that I can leave a bunch here with you guys. My number's on the back. Any number you see for home match Contra Costa will come to my cell phone, so don't worry about calling the right number. I'll leave these here with you. Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you so
Thank you
much.
so
And then
much. Thank you.
would you be interested if after you leave and we decide that we'd like you to present to our city council, would you be interested?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've done quite a few city councils. So that's fine. I was telling her earlier that sometimes our director of strategy comes to those with me. Because he's just the treasure trove of like data, and like they tend to want like numbers.
Yeah.
And he is just he has all that right on the tip of his tongue. So he's a great person to have with me. So he may join me. Yeah, definitely. I'm off to my next thing.
You're
Thanks.
welcome to stay. if you
Yeah.
want.
I've got another gig.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Very busy.
I do keep busy, but it, you know.
Well,
keeps me
one,
looking
you're the
young.
only one.
Yeah. Thank you so much, guys.
Bye, Logan,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
You're very welcome.
I got it.
Thank you. See you later.
Okay. Very interesting. So we're down to approve February 13th, 2025 regular meeting minutes. Does anyone have changes? Okay. No changes? Does anyone move to approve?
I move to approve.
I second.
Second, okay. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay.
I abstained because I wasn't here.
Okay, sorry, abstention.
No problem.
Any others? Okay, so the minutes are approved. And Juanita, will you please share the PowerPoint for the annual report for the city council? Thank you, Pui, who did all the work.
That's, when he's bringing that up, it is essentially very similar to prior years, just to make it simple and then not
Yeah.
have to put a lot of work into it. Just wanted to be sure that everyone on the commission was okay with the content before being delivered to the city council. So
Okay,
I think we could just go through it in detail, just to make sure everybody was okay with just the layout and the structure of it.
Do we have a date at this time?
oh, Monday, okay.
We got to put it together quick.
Yeah,
You needed to put it together quick so it could be on this agenda for approval from the.
Good job.
commission. I think, in terms of the pictures for the commissioners, Nicole, since you're new, I can slide you in there.
okay.
And if you send me a headshot.
Yep.
You want there. I can slide close. There as well. This is just a quick update for the past year, not too much in changes. I did sort of emphasize the 80 and older percentages. Quite.
Only 4% of us are 80 and old, really.
You say you're 80?
4%.
We're living longer.
Oh, yeah, you're like,
I feel-
yeah, you can be like 60 and older.
But I
That's why you look so young.
really low percentage,
No,
I
well,
thought.
Oh, I gotta be
it's flipped,
soon
right?
there.
Because
Yeah,
typically these types of numbers are that younger population should be the bigger
yeah,
group and then it gets smaller.
yeah,
But
it
if you do
isn't
60
true
Yeah,
anymore.
60 to over, that's almost 25, that's already over our younger population. Exceeds that, which is the flip census. So like the first time it's happened, but around. But yeah, no, that, we're just used to seeing those big numbers now, but this is
Oh,
actually
yeah.
not common in most
Yeah.
population studies and stuff.
And
Well,
Yeah.
it's actually pretty common in just everywhere in the world, well, at least in the developed world,
All developed, so
that
it's
the
common,
younger
yeah, yeah.
population is not keeping up.
No,
it'd be interesting to see
Birth
what it would
rate's way
be
down.
60 to 69 and then
Oh.
in 70 to 80, you know, like,
Yeah.
then it wouldn't look so.
Yeah.
I'm not too smart. What's AANHPI?
Oh,
Asian
Asian American.
Specific Islanders,
What's it?
Asian Americans, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islanders.
Oh, jeez.
sorry, I missed it. What's the name?
Oh,
Where?
Native Hawaiian.
Native one, okay.
So all the island.
Asia Pacific.
and-
I know,
It's
I'm
good.
AAPI, but I've never seen the
alphabet
NH
people.
in there.
Oh, my.
That's new to me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay.
All right.
Mm,
We're-
Okay.
We're very
Okay,
welcome. Okay.
Yeah,
Pleasant Hill is actually
this
more developed than I thought it was.
it is about 20% now of the AANHPI. The African American population dips somewhat from like 5
Yeah.
to 2%.
Yeah,
The Hispanic population has grown as well.
Hmm.
Those are two largest ones. Within the next decade, it'll flip to that. The Caucasian population will probably be in the minority, if you add up all the minority groups. And so it would be a majority minority community within the next decade.
mhm.
Majority minority.
Yeah. So these are some of the activities, there's 2 slides to this, so just a few of those. Juanita, I didn't do all of the pictures for the, they kind of look like just
Yeah.
a council meeting.
I just gave
and
you
so-
some options.
Yeah, so I didn't want it to,
Why is
so I just picked one that kind of looks like it was a mission meeting, so.
It
And
was.
then go.
It's not this year, but it was last year.
Next slide.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have it on
there.
Oh, there it is, Center Diversity, okay.
Fourth of July as well too. This is-
Oh, yeah,
I
there's-
don't think I missed any, but if anybody knows anything there.
I don't think so.
Safety,
Next
scans,
slide.
partnership, yeah.
Thinkers and thinkers that just grabbed 6.
Oh, great.
Oh, that's
lovely.
wonderful.
That would sort of be representative.
Very
of some of our
impressive.
Prior supporters and then.
They're gonna be sorry we're
The
not
number.
doing that this year.
As
They're gonna miss us.
I just think, yeah, well, they just didn't have enough space for
Yeah.
everybody because of not having the senior center this year, but.
Yeah,
but-
and we would need the ice, so I'm happy with it.
Oh, yeah,
That's
I
right.
got the official.
That's a
The old
bridge.
The official uninvited
Uninvited.
email. Thank you so much for your participation.
This is what
We
we
have
did
looked
last
at
year
our
and this year
current
they
roster
told
and
us that we
cannot
weren't coming.
accommodate you.
But it's because they moved it to April. It wasn't
We're too
September
good.
before. We did it in September last year and it was great fun. Anyway,
They want us to come back in 2026. There's
They do.
invitation for people to join.
there you go.
But 2025 now. So
We
anyway,
might not be interested in 2026.
Yeah.
these are, I can use you right
And
now.
I,
You know, who did you, I can put that down there. Who did you distribute them to?
What's that called, Carlton? And,
Not the Christmas ornaments though. These were the.
Oh, there's several
Mr.
Carl-
Batch.
Carltons.
yeah, I need to go back.
Okay, that's, you let me know. So these are just photos of the ones that we did for this year. To help combat social isolation. We're going to next.
You're
Kids are
like
so
this
cute with
week.
those things.
So I used,
Oh, I love
so I
that.
had 4 photos, one of them, I used it from last year, but it felt so empty.
Yeah.
that I left it
Yeah.
there.
Did you get that? Yes, there's the ones we sent over.
So I thought it was still, I still thought it was applicable. so-
Well, intergenerational, you know, the old people with the young people.
Yeah, and it was nice photos of the.
Yeah.
The next slide. It's in our workshops, it's snapshot of that.
Oh, that's great.
Next slide.
Nicely done.
It's in our Outlook article, we feel we added one and next slide. And then, just I mentioned our proclamation from last year and then the upcoming one for this year, World 2 for Old Americans Month. And then just I mentioned that really that presentation was to call Next one. A couple of things on our webpage, looks like it was redesigned, I saw, so,
Right,
Our webpage was really.
yes,
the website is.
the entire, it sounds like this entire city's website, we redesigned to be standardized, so it's nice, it's a mention of that. And then next one. Members for the senior band, this is it was our biggest year, 2,032.
Wow.
rides, which is huge. Definitely it's surpassing the prior years and then the COVID years.
Not in the afternoons. It was canceled today. I didn't drive.
Yeah,
Didn't have one rider.
Slow day, maybe the rain forecast.
I think so. I think that's true, people.
And if any questions come up about the senior dance or what's happening, the staff liaison to it, and she's also the city clerk, and we'll be at that meeting. So,
Perfect.
answer
I'll just make it up. I'll wing it. So, the next slide, and then just a couple of things that's what's next, which is, I was going through the list of things that we were planning for 2025.
It's a lot of stuff.
There
And
is.
there's 2 columns this time.
We're gonna have
not
to-
Just 1 column.
Read out a little bit.
So just to let everybody, we have a lot of plans. So.
No,
don't overdo it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So, anyway, I think we're out. That, and that should hit.
Perfect.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Very impressive.
Sweet, can we have copies of your presentation? Can you email it?
I'll have to do some edits.
Once it's done, it will be public.
And so as
Oh,
long as
okay.
the commission votes to, you guys are okay with that content?
Yes,
Lovely.
Oh, absolutely.
thank you.
And I'll get you a headshot.
Yeah.
Can I ask a segue question? I've been asked a couple of people about the link to the presentation that we did in February. Is it on our website yet? You said that.
Oh,
the
yeah,
agent
sure, I sent
did.
it out, sure.
You did?
I saw.
Yeah.
Might be.
I got it.
On the website?
The,
Yeah, but we got the, you sent out a notice to us saying that it was posted, is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah, so the video.
Okay,
available.
that was,
Yeah.
It was very good. I spent time
If you go to
going
our
through
website,
it.
you'll see it there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Check your spam.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe one of those accidental deletes. Yeah.
Thank you,
Okay,
thank you.
thank you so much.
Thank you, that's awesome, thank you.
Yes. Number 8 is debrief of proactive planning for aging panel discussion. Anybody who attended, would you like to give us feedback? What happened?
I thought it was an incredible amount of very good information. And just the chatter I heard, and then the information that Juanita gave us, I thought we got some really good feedback. All the speakers were obviously very knowledgeable, and I thought people really appreciated the information.
I think that it was our first panel that we did, and I was selective about who I invited to the panel, but I think that it gave the audience different perspectives from different people, rather than just one person getting up there.
I know one person on the feedback did say it was a lot.
Yeah, it's an info that I started out, this is an information dump.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
And that could mean that maybe we need to
Yeah.
follow up in the future more of one thing or whatever, but overall, I felt like it was very well
It was.
received.
I really liked it.
Yeah, I absolutely did. You stood out for sure.
We can also make sure people know that it's being recorded, so if they didn't get it all, they just go and view the video.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah,
I mean, we send out the information that the video is not available, but
Right, and there's a
maybe
link.
just to clarify that if you didn't get it all.
That's great.
so do you have an overview of registration and?
Yeah, so we had 73 people pre-registered. That was with 20 via Zoom and 53 in person. And we actually had 60 people with 13 via Zoom, 47 in person, including 5 walk-ins. But there may have been some people who went in without registering, so we might have been closer to the registration number there.
Tried to trick one.
Surveys, we had 16 that were received, only one person that participated by Zoom submitted information. We had 10 that were handwritten at the event. And so I did summarize the information as best I could, and I do think it might be a good idea to revisit the form because the way people are filling them out in person by hand is not the same as the way people are doing it online. And so the details are not quite adding up to be meaningful. And so that could be a different discussion.
And Juanita, those numbers are like people prioritizing things, right?
That was the request, and it was only meant to be the top 3, but I can tell you, especially, and we'll go into some more detail at a different time when we review the surveys, but in general, anybody who wrote theirs, they didn't prioritize at all. They just put X's.
Yeah.
And some did 3, some did a whole bunch, and some, I mean, it
Yeah.
didn't. So we'll look at that methodology, so that your surveys will make sense.
Yeah,
going forward.
because it's hard to quantify.
Was 16 surveys a lot based, I mean, like, is that a good number? I mean, it seems like it's a good feedback.
That's pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Sure. I just wanted to share, let's see, one of the comments was it'd be helpful to have a notepad. And I know that you have talked about doing some kind of swag in the past. And
Or
so,
a handout. I think that if people had a handout when they go in.
so anyway, just as a thought, if we could get something like this that would have the Commission on Aging logo.
Yeah.
These go for about $2 a piece, so you can look at your budget. And this could be talked about more in context, perhaps on the next agenda or so,
Yeah.
when you look at some of the swag considerations for other events as well, that you're looking at. So,
Yeah, well,
just
That's a
as
great
process.
a lot of people actually ask for like an outline or something that they could write on, so they could take notes on.
Like that.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it is hard to write.
What's nice about life.
Yeah.
Well, plus it's asking a lot of our presenters
Okay.
create a handout when we're asking them to create a presentation and to come and do that.
It's very true. Yeah. Well, they're always appreciative of the materials that are.
Yeah.
Available.
But do we have a budget?
That's
So,
Don't tell me.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, where's the money, honey?
I mean, you have some funding
Oh,
that
I
was
think it's a great idea.
for the Tinkers and Thinkers that didn't get spent, that
Yeah.
could be for other events.
Right.
But as you go through activities and decide what you're gonna do, you'll want to consider how to spend that budget. And
Oh,
then,
that's good.
Yeah, so,
Okay.
anyway.
Actually, something like that had some of.
And then, so just a couple of notes that I have about the workshop, just the logistics for the microphones, that to maybe consider having 2 people help with the questions. So
If you have that many people, yeah.
Make as fast as fast you could.
And only being allowed to ask one question, seriously, I think we should tell people one question at a time so that everybody has a chance to ask their questions, because it was all I could do to not just grab the microphone from that one lady, because she just kept talking and talking, but the other thing somebody suggested was written questions, which I thought maybe that would actually work better for people to be able to hand in their questions, and then like we could have given them to Lorna
That's true.
to ask.
And then that way everyone would hear the question too.
Yes.
Right.
Because one person. would-
repeat, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
people said that from a privacy point of view too, like sometimes there were questions
Oh,
they
that
didn't want to
stand
ask
up,
because they
yeah.
didn't, well, either they just didn't want, they were embarrassed to stand up and ask, or but it also obviously was a personal issue,
Great point.
and so they just wanted it to
That's
be,
easy to provide.
That's a
Yeah,
good
that's
one.
a great
Yeah,
idea.
so-
Privacy.
that was somebody else's, I mean, that was
Yes.
one of the suggestions on
great
the
idea.
survey, and I
Yeah.
thought that made a lot of sense.
Sure.
Yes.
It's for the handwriting,
Anybody wrong with the grabbing?
ciphering handwriting.
No,
Both.
Right.
well, you could, I mean, you
Yeah, a
could
lot of
actually do
people have
both,
those,
tell people they have the option of
Print.
turning them in, but we definitely
I
use
write
that.
better
We
than I
used like
print.
40 minutes questions.
Really?
I mean, you guys were done a little bit early. I think we used over a half an hour questions. So people asked a lot of questions and they weren't done.
Really?
The logistics.
When you ended
regarding
it,
the content,
Wow.
just to,
Mhm.
there's it can be a fine line between education
go?
versus promotion.
No,
And we just
that
want
was-
to make sure that
The area.
the information is informational.
It's too bad.
And make sure that members of the audience
You have to watch your
do understand there are other resources available. And so this, that, and I know, it's, it can get blurred, especially in the moment.
Yeah, well,
And then I just had one other thing I wanted to share with you, an email that I got from someone that I did provide contact to. They had reached out to me. And she wrote, "It's always a pleasure to attend your events. This one was outstanding."
Oh, lovely.
Very
nice. That's okay. That's a big.
Yeah, people were very positive.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lorna, for putting it together.
Oh,
Yes, Thank
yes.
you, Lorna.
I look, what I saw was dynamite. I thought, wow, that's really impressive. I scanned some of it, but I went through.
Yeah.
Well, I did yours.
What'd you say?
I said I went through all of yours.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. You're
Okay.
very entertaining.
So let's move on to number 9. Oh, it's almost 6. We need to move quickly.
Well, the breaking hour.
So discussion regarding activities 2025. We spent a lot of time on this last meeting.
I can commit to the Alzheimer's event for June 6th at 1:30.
June 9th,
June 9th at 1:30.
Monday, right?
Monday. yes.
Okay.
And we'll have, I'll have a person presenting, who used to work for the Alzheimer's Association for 10 years, executive director, who's now, works at Rossmore Counseling Office. She'll do the Alzheimer's piece. I'll do the resource piece. And I am in the process of hopefully convincing, one of our poster child, who got diagnosed with early dementia in 2016, who has been on absolutely every trial, medical thing, since 2016. And today she was dropped out of the trial, not the trial, breakthrough, but anyway, I want her to speak to the group as a Alzheimer's patient.
That would be
outstanding. Navigating in the
She
community.
was dropped out of the group for.
Brain bleed, the Kempka is, we did the MRI today, yeah,
Oh,
it was devastating. Yeah,
So it was due to the medication?
yeah, and this medication was just approved by the FDA back last year. And the biggest side effect, and it's very small, is it called ARIA? The brain bleed?
Yeah.
Is that called ARIA? It's like
Aye.
an A. Oh, actually. And
aneurysm?
It doesn't sound familiar, but.
You're not.
What are you saying, bananas?
But anyway, that's my proposal. If anyone has other resources, I'd love to talk to them and bring them into the mix.
That sounds.
Related to that, do you think you'd be able to have an article together by March 21st? The deadline did get moved up a little bit.
That would be next.
March
Thursday.
21st.
Yes.
That's next.
But
Friday.
It is next week.
24th, you could have till Monday.
Okay,
Big of you.
yes, I can.
Okay.
And the May Commission meeting Meals on Wheels presentation, Pammy? Or
I
anything
thought
else?
that had been tabled.
Invite? We talked about it last time you weren't here. I think
Okay,
Pam-
because the last time that I brought it forward, it was tabled. So I did a handout.
You brought us a
Quick.
bunch
You brought
of
us-
information. You
yeah.
just haven't been here for a couple
Yeah.
of months. so
No,
we
I
volun-
know, I'm
So we,
sorry.
no, we just volunteered you for things because you,
Well, yeah.
Oh, is that it? What else am I
We're
doing?
here to just defend you.
I'm kidding.
Because you weren't here, you got
No,
volunteered.
no, is there something that's being
This-
requested on this?
Just who is able to invite a commission, someone.
we were hoping to have
Yeah.
somebody do a
Speak on
presentation
it.
on Meals on Wheels for us, and we knew that you had the resources, but
Whoever has a contact.
Right, my contact, I believe, isn't there anymore, but I can make an inquiry if you would like.
Does anyone else have contact? For anyone?
Are you on Meals on Wheels board?
Mhm.
Yeah. Do you have, I mean, you know, we make you do everything,
When we're planning to do that?
At our next commission meeting.
No, the
Oh,
May.
No, the May.
Oh, May.
I'll reach out. And that would be Meals on Wheels Diablo region because.
Have
we
to be
don't wanna
Diablo
just Talk
region.
about Meals on Wheels, we wanna talk about care, giving, okay.
It's more than bringing meals in was the
Yeah.
point.
And
Yeah.
yeah, they're different functions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
because didn't we think about you doing that as a workshop? If this worked out for, after we see the presentation?
I don't, we
I don't
didn't,
think
I
we
think it
can
was
go
for an in-house
Oh,
thing
was it?
here.
Okay.
for
I
our-
would imagine they'll be at, I mean, we could back up. I mean, they're probably, Meals on Wheels is probably at the Age Well event, right? The senior center Age Well event. I mean,
I
anyway.
think they were there last year.
Yeah, they will be there.
Yeah.
But you would like a presentation.
Here in May.
For us.
On May 8th.
Okay.
if possible.
Okay, and then participation in Juneteenth event. Juanita, what do you?
Oh, yeah, just, the Diversity Commission has, invited the commission to consider participating. And the options basically would be to provide a family-friendly activity at a booth. Or if you have any recommendations for a performer from a Black-owned business or group for the entertainment, they would love to hear about that. And also, they just said if you want to just come and show your support by being there.
Right.
So, it's really up to the commission on whether you want to try to do an activity and put it together by June.
I had a suggestion is because it is a family event, the Juneteenth. And I don't know how the library is involved already, honestly, but I thought it would be very fun to have older peoples reading stories like have the librarians pull a bunch of kids' books for us, short kids' books, picture books, related to the African-American community and have us read those stories to kids. So like just create a little reading, like you would at the library, have a little reading circle and have us, I don't know what you guys think. I don't know how much volunteer time it would take, how hard it would be to have enough volunteers to do that.
It's a
But
good idea.
But I thought the librarians would be happy to pull books for us, versus us having to know what those books are.
I'm sure they would.
Is there an area that's quiet enough for this? I don't know anything about.
Yeah.
I've never,
That's
well,
the only thing I'm thinking. It's all outside, isn't it?
yeah, well, it's at the, it'll be the similar, I think, wanting to steer me if I'm wrong, but similar to how they have the Wednesday night, food truck thing. I think they're gonna do it on Wednesday night on purpose.
Actually, it's on Thursday, the 19th. And,
Oh, I thought they were gonna have it on the 18th, so they had the food
well,
trucks.
actually, that's a change that
Oh,
happened
okay.
this year. There's a couple of things going on with that, but, and this was gonna be an announcement at the end of the meeting, but it makes sense to do it now that the off-the-grid trucks have changed their plans and they're now meeting on Thursdays. So starting next month, the Commission on Aging will take place at the same time as, the events, that it will also start at 5 o'clock, so just have that awareness. But there is, something being worked out right now regarding the Juneteenth event in particular, because downtown, Pleasantville also does a concert that night. That was planned, and so they're trying to figure out how it's gonna tie together. So the look and feel of the event may actually change. Although I still think they are hoping for booths and activities. So,
Well, since it's already 6 minutes, almost 7 minutes after 6, I would like to suggest we table this discussion until the next meeting, just because this is an info June, we do have a.
Well, it sounds like
Not a
it-
lot, but.
Well, it sounds like we need more details.
Yeah.
Tell them we need more
Yeah.
details.
That's
Yeah.
it, before we.
I think this just.
Yeah,
We're not ready to make a decision.
Okay. This table,
Yeah.
okay.
Any other activities on the calendar of events that we need to talk about?
Well, we have the Age Well event on May 2nd, and Juanita filled out our application for us, right? And so we have a booth. So the question is, what are we doing at the booth? And is there something we need to plan for that? I don't know the answer to that. We talked about having something to give out. I'm curious,
I like
I
those.
wanted somebody to tell me about this. Anyway.
That will be at that is printed by the Contra Costa County Area Agency on Aging, the Information and Referral Division. It is a reprint from 2020, so it's an updated, and it will be at that event but it'll be at the table of the,
It'll be, well, it's one of the main resource, I mean.
right, it'll be there by the people who put that book out.
That's what I was gonna say, their own table.
Yeah, how is that?
Mhm.
in this?
This is put out by the exact same group.
Okay.
This is the consolidated Bible version, as I call it, and that is a little bit more detailed. So I've never gone page by page or place by, but I'm gonna assume that there's gonna be almost 100% crossover, I would think.
Okay.
That was just more detailed.
Yeah.
So can we have flyers regarding our Alzheimer's event?
Oh, yeah, we can do whatever we want. I was just gonna say, this book is gonna be there by somebody.
Yeah, that won't be,
Yeah, okay.
that won't be
That
ours.
won't
to
be
there.
ours. Yeah,
No,
no.
that'll be there, but, yeah.
Well, if we had something like we had last year with the senior van information. Yeah.
See, definitely we need to have the senior van information. Did you
Yes,
have
sir.
magnets or something that you were giving out?
No,
No.
I don't know what, yeah, the senior van, I could find out from Michael.
Well, there could be the.
Dana might know.
I was exploring that with Lyon just today, just to see what the supply is like and to be able to pass those out. But also we could just have other information. I don't know if they're gonna be there as well.
Yeah, they will be
Okay.
there.
Well,
so-
will there be other city?
So what we
Booths.
will have, no, this,
Okay, so
no,
we,
it's only gonna be one, and one
Hey,
of the
Holly,
things.
are you listening?
I am.
Okay, girlfriend, talk up.
so.
I'm stalking,
Yeah.
I'm stalking you.
So we can have
Um,
anything the city of Pleasant.
Oh, yeah.
So at our open house, which is where the commission and the van came last September, they brought the Pleasant Hill grocery bags.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I see.
Yeah.
And the seniors loved those.
Yeah, also-
Yeah, we'll have, there'll be some other swag options from the city, yes.
Yeah, so they
Okay,
brought the magnets with the van phone number on them.
Yeah, and we can go through this next week, at the next
Yeah.
meeting, we'll still have time.
Thanks, Holly, I'm impressed.
You know, they always love nail files. Lorna knows.
Thank you.
Mail file.
Yeah, thank you.
that could be a dangerous item.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Where did I leave off? Okay.
I had,
Clippers.
taken away from. me.
All right, I think we're at liaison report.
Mhm.
Do you have anything?
So, well, Lorna's, you're talking to Lorna.
I was starting with Lorna
Yeah.
first. and
Yeah.
Any others?
Just again, that the virtual senior rally in Sacramento is on May 6th. And registration for that is open. And that's very highly attended by our legislatures. And that's on May 6th. And that would be all that I want to report on.
What is that?
It's a senior rally day, so we used to take not vans, buses into Sacramento. Except for back to Bakersfield or anything. Now, since the pandemic, we do it virtually still, which is hardly as effective.
Right, I think we need to do it in person.
And Juanita, the only actual liaison we have is. So then what announcements?
I guess that's enough. So,
Yeah, but you-
we had I was assigned to be the committee chair for following up with the discussion on the village presentation that we had a couple months ago from Eric Larson. Right now, our committee is Marion and myself. Dana hasn't been able to attend because of her health. So she actually asked that we ask you to add people to our subcommittee if instead, in her absence, if you would like to. But Marion and I had a really good talk, and we kind of, at this point, we kind of concluded that there are services that the village would provide that could be and Holly, at some point, we would really like your input about this as well, but the village concept, a lot of it, in some places, Pleasant Hill already has so many resources that we would be duplicating what Pleasant Hill already has in terms of the senior center. And I know Holly wasn't here when we had the village presentation, but I believe that you're familiar with it. In our discussion, we kind of concluded that there are some of the aspects of villages, one of which is the whole concept of having a volunteer network available to assist with various things that seniors need assistance with that may be not existing, that, like we don't have that type of volunteer. I mean, the volunteers are out there in the world, but we don't necessarily have a volunteer network readily available to provide services that seniors might need help with in their homes versus at the senior center, for instance. I don't think that's really been the senior center's role to provide those kinds of volunteers. That was one thing. We felt like one of the things the village would do that maybe doesn't already exist in Pleasant Hill is like a volunteer network that could assist people with tasks in their homes.
There used to be through John Muir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that ship sailed about 12 years ago.
Yeah,
Me figure, that's about when I
Liability.
retired. That's what happened.
Because
We don't have to try to figure this out right at the moment. That's
Yeah, because it used to be.
Because we don't really have time to have a long discussion about it, but.
Yes, but
Yeah,
you're
I
still
know.
on it, you guys.
liability wise, a lot of insurances dropped that aspect of it.
That's a good
Yeah.
point, Holly.
Yeah, and but that is one of the main activities of a village is to hook up volunteers with
Yeah,
the seniors that need assistance. And so they do it under their umbrella, which also includes their own insurance. And that's why they can do it. And so one of the things that is available so we kind of felt like we didn't need a whole village per se, because,
Can I just
yeah.
clarify, this is not on the agenda,
okay.
but yeah.
So we don't want to have a long discussion about it, but that was,
You just- you can-
I just tell you that that's what
Thank
we,
you.
one of the things, the other was that it would really be helpful that we believe that people don't know how to find this huge book of resources that perhaps one of the things we could keep working on is access to resources.
Yeah.
So we'll just leave it at that right now.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you. Well, there
Yes.
being no further business, no, it's okay.
Can I just make one other?
Of course, yes.
announcement That Nicole is going to be officially introduced at the city council meeting on Monday as well.
Monday.
If you're able to come out.
Give you a
Okay.
chance to read your beautiful.
Yeah.
proclamation.
And I haven't done the proclamation for the senior, month
That's
thing
upcoming
yet.
time.
So,
7/8, right?
yeah, it's me.
And I'll help you with that.
Thank you. Yeah, I've just been out of town for 2 weeks, so.
Okay, so are there any other announcements? Sorry, I didn't ask that. Nobody else? Okay. There being no further business, this meeting is adjourned to Thursday, April 10th, 2025 at 5 p.m.
thank you.
And
Holly.
Holly, thank you, bye.
So